troll network's driving me mad.
Hello people, now the colossal story to come from the recently revised WBO rankings for the heavyweight division is that Daniel Dubois has eclipsed Joseph Parker and has been elevated into the number 2 position of the WBO heavyweight rankings. Now, this puts Daniel Dubois at the front of the queue for a potential punch-up versus Alexander Usyk for the WBO heavyweight title if Anthony Joshua elects to relinquish control of his WBO world heavyweight title. Now, it is painfully problematic to predict if Anthony Joshua will in fact relinquish control of his WBO heavyweight title, as it is boxing and nothing is set in stone. Joshua has implied in the past that he wouldn't vacate any of his belts and that he wishes to remain as unified heavyweight champion. But Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie the used car salesman Hearn has not taken the possibility of AJ vacating the WBO or any other title for that matter off the table, but in fact stating that AJ would reluctantly vacate a title if AJ felt a governing body was quote unquote messing him around. So Daniel Dubois has been awarded the number 2 ranking now. This dramatic development transpired because no other WBO top 10 heavyweight has fought for quite a few months due to the current events, which I'm sure you are all aware of. Daniel Dubois' ranking is due to his promoter Fish Eyes and the preferential/lover-like treatment he receives from the WBO. Now, the WBO was founded in 1988, and at first they struggled to gain legitimacy and recognition, and the WBO was put in the same bracket as the IBO, which was also founded in 1998, and the IBO is still not seen as a legitimate sanctioning body by most boxing fans, fighters, and the press. So, why is the WBO recognized as a legitimate governing body and the IBO not, even though they were founded in the same year? Fish Eyes and the Bob Father helped legitimize the WBO as a governing body by having their fighters fight for the WBO belt, thus explaining Fish Eyes' lover-like treatment by the WBO. Now, in front of Daniel Dubois, ranked number 1 is Alexander Usyk, who also occupies the WBO mandatory position, and Alexander Usyk has stated that he is going to force his mandatory position and that he isn't interested in any kind of step-aside fights and that he expects to be Anthony Joshua's next adversary after Pulev. But if Joshua vacates the WBO, it's going to be the next man in line, who at this current moment is Daniel Dubois. I'm sure the boxing fans would be enthusiastic about this confrontation if it were to occur. Now, Fish Eyes has said his 2 pence worth, his 1 pence worth, since Queensbury is on its last legs. Now, Fish Eyes has stated if there was a vacant belt, we will go with that fight. Obviously, Daniel is a much bigger guy than Usyk, but Usyk has tremendous experience and he's very capable. He's had fights at heavyweight and we know a former cruiserweight. I think Daniel, with his youth and power, it wouldn't be an easy fight, but I'd fancy him to beat him. When you have a talent like Daniel, the individual route to a world title becomes less important. Before long, he'll be at the top of all the sanctioning bodies' rankings, and everyone will be running scared of him. So people, that was Fishi's 1 pence worth, saying that Daniel Dubois is qualified and more than capable to fight Alexander Usyk, and that Daniel Dubois is ready for a world title shot should one arise in the near future. Now, I'm sure even a blind man could see that Frank Warren was going to maneuver Daniel Dubois up the WBO rankings and that they would grant Daniel Dubois certain privileges due to the lover-like treatment of his promoter Fish Eyes. So should AJ vacate his WBO belt, it will be Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois for the vacant WBO heavyweight title. I'm sure most boxing fans are looking at it and thinking perhaps Daniel Dubois is too premature for this respective rumble. Many people doubt Daniel Dubois could effectively deal with Alexander Usyk's rapid ring movement and also how Daniel Dubois is going to deal with Alexander Usyk's plethora of punches and the variety of angles which he throws these punches. But of course Daniel Dubois is a massive puncher, and of course, as we know, in the heavyweight boxing division, one punch is all it takes. Now Daniel Dubois is a blossoming boxer who continues to learn his craft in the ring. He is in his 4th year as a professional boxer at 22 years of age, which is rare but can be explained as Fish Eyes used his 360-degree sight and spotted Daniel Dubois. And after spotting Daniel Dubois, proceeded to kidnap Daniel Dubois from the amateurs before Daniel Dubois could complete his amateur boxing development, and most importantly to Fish Eyes before any other promoter could make Daniel Dubois an offer. Now, Daniel Dubois' most recent competitors have been binmen and taxi drivers, but that's due to Queensberry Promotions' financial situation and Fish Eyes not being able to afford the caliber of challengers Daniel Dubois requires to adequately test himself. But that doesn't mean Daniel Dubois doesn't possess the necessary skills to prevail in this particular punch-up. But I'm sure Usyk will be a favorite heading into this fight, as Alexander Usyk possesses a depth of experience as both an amateur and a pro, and it is said that Alexander Usyk bossed Vladimir Klitschko in sparring to such an extent that Vladimir Klitschko ended up kicking everybody else out of the gym as not to see him having difficulty dealing with Alexander Usyk. Also, Alexander Usyk has battled big guys in the past, so it's not unfamiliar to Alexander Usyk to face a man mountain who has tremendous punching power. Many boxing fans are pointing to Anthony Yarde and pointing out the similarities between Daniel Dubois and Yarde in that Anthony Yarde hadn't faced a noteworthy fighter and stepped up to fight for the WBO World Heavyweight title and got beat by Sergio Kovalev, and the same thing could happen to Daniel Dubois. Some people have gone as far as to state that Fish Eyes is cashing Daniel Dubois out to ease some of the financial pressures that he himself is under. These people further point to the evidence that Fish Eyes likes to take it slow with his fighters. He likes them to fight for British titles first, then move them on to the Commonwealth, then the European, then have them face real challenges before they step up to fight for a world title. However, this characteristic has been missing in both Anthony Yarde's career and now Daniel Dubois' career. So, could it be that Fishire's financial situation is perhaps making him rush Daniel Dubois? Anyway, people, let me know in the comment section down below if you think Fisheyes has been rushing Daniel Dubois due to his own financial pressures, and let me know how you think a fight between Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk will go, and if you believe Anthony Joshua will vacate his WBO world title. And please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Peace out.